Lying!
All right, folks, buckle up because we've got a treat for your eyeballs and probably your minds.
That's right, Alan's version of Exit Valley is like nothing you've ever seen and probably shouldn't.
Precisely, gentlemen. It's the confluence of innovation, satire, and sheer audacity.
And I thought my podcast got weird. This stuff takes weird, injects it with steroids, and sets it loose.
Speaking of wild rides, the sequel, Jupiter Animated Productions, hits like a glitch in the Matrix.
Ladies and gentlemen, brace your sensibilities and prepare. Alan Holman's YouTube, it's the new cultural frontier.
You know what's gotten under my skin lately? And believe me, there's a lot to choose from. I head into some corner store, intent on paying cash because it's simpler, right? But no, the cashier. They've got this move where they slam dunk my opportunity to assist in humanity's downfall into oblivion. They swiftly spin the card reader toward me with the precision of an Olympic athlete. Oh, what's this? I think, while pulling my valid tender from my wallet. But surprise, they're gone. Off to the great beyond, or just the stockroom. Not a soul to assist me, ensuring I'm left communing with my patience, or lack thereof. As I stand there, cash waving in the existential wind, I consider, do I just waltz out? No assistance? But hey, not a chance because Larry the Lookout Security is watching me like a hawk anyhow. And the kicker? Some of these fine establishments decide that while they've have the cashier role, lavatories for customers, out of the question. Now you'd think, perhaps some acknowledgement of my plight might enter the equation. Yet here we are, stuck in this commerce conundrum.
While I was getting my first impression of your pretty self, my then friend tackled you to the floor and tickled you as you laughed. I felt competitive, so I tickled you and you didn't laugh. Then I apologized and then you became my friend for some years. Nowadays you act like our years of friendship meant nothing. When I gave you those fortune cookies, it was because I loved you. And I let you borrow those manga magazines, it was because I loved you. And we played that game in an old instant messenger, it was because I loved you. Whenever I was near you, I felt a peaceful elation like nothing else. Nowadays without you I only feel that way when you show up in dreams. I wanna dream about you every night, but I cannot control my dreams. And you only show up in the rarest dreams. When you got bothered by a pile of notes that I wrote to you, I had an excuse and a reason and a justification. But it all would have been more succinct and less bothersome if I wasn't taking the advice of a person who told me to avoid using the word very, because all I ever needed to say was that you were always very beautiful.
You ever get into one of those situations where you're all set, methodical, paying with cash, and then it feels like the cashiers joined NASA and launched into orbit? I step up, right? All chipper, rehearsed, mind you, with this crisp 20 in hand. Before I blink, they're off, tapping buttons like they're entering secret nuke codes. They punch in numbers and bam, thrust the card reader toward me like it's a sacred relic. Now, cash in hand, I'm left holding this Benjamin while the cashiers vanish like they're Houdini's apprentice. Minutes stretch into hours. Am I detectable? Did I suddenly go invisible to them? I start waving the 20 like I'm signaling SOS. By the time they return, my 20 has gained wisdom, and I've started telling it bedtime stories.
You know, folks, there's a peculiar ritual whenever I decide in my infinite wisdom to use actual cash at a store. Yes, cash, the physical paper stuff, for those who may have forgotten. So here's how it starts. Cue the clerk, all smiles, punching in numbers like they're cracking some kind of nuclear launch code, except, plot twist, they hand me the card reader instead. And just when I get out my neatly ironed currency, come on, I like to keep it classy, they suddenly vanish. Poof, gone, like they've got more pressing cashier-related mysteries to solve in the stockroom. So there I am, cash in hand, waiting, and you guessed it, waiting. Now, sometimes, only sometimes, I think, you know what, this is ridiculous, I could just leave. But then the security guard, who's been enjoying my dilemma on their monitors, will pounce. What would I say to them? Excuse me, sir or madam, I was merely exhibiting the ancient and noble patience of waiting to have my cash accepted. Seriously, how about we all agree, cash users unite, to just handwrite our payments on papyrus and deliver them via carrier pigeon? At least that way, we'd all be equally perplexed.
Ron, I gotta say, your words about rewriting the story in my head, they've been a game changer.
I'm glad they resonated, Brian. Understanding that we control that narrative is a small but significant liberation.
Your teachings helped me see it clearer, especially when I was stuck in that loop, considering the futility of all of it.
Indeed, recognizing and breaking that loop is vital. But remember, it's a tool, not a permanent replacement for confronting genuine truths.
So it's about when to use it and when to stand firm.
Precisely. Every narrative has its context. A tool that serves us in one moment might limit us in another.
All right, let's just recap the fever dream we watched this afternoon. First up was that interpretive cooking show.
You mean Cuisine by Chaos? Yeah, where they cooked spaghetti with a flamethrower and judged dishes based on emotional resonance. Don't forget about blockchain bungalows. AI-generated influencers flipped digital houses in a simulated ecosystem. Riveting, lie, absurd.
Hold on, I need to process that. AI influencers? What's the target demographic for this? Sentient algorithms?
It's predictive programming, man. They're getting the AI ready to buy their own merch. I clicked on one show. Startup Survivor, Series of Funding Wars. How do you even stage tearful confessionals for pitch rejections?
I suppose, well, at least it wasn't that ad loop marathon. Buy now, forever and ever. AI-generated insomnia.
Let's just agree that we've witnessed the future of television, and it's a dystopian screensaver.
What is it about a spotlight that makes us all existential?
Likely the metaphor of being seen, perhaps too clearly or inadequately so.
Gary, you're like forever stuck in some Shakespearean tragedy. Such logic, so little fun.
And you, Kara, forever the cynic with a sarcastic tongue that must sharpen itself hourly against hapless souls like myself.
Guilty as charged! At least I don't quote iambic pentameter offhand.
A pity. Were you inspired by verse? Your quips might ascend to art.
Touché! Maybe one day I'll add some rhyming couplets to my scathing critiques.
Now that I would eagerly await, though wary for my own forthcoming critique.
This place gives me a headache. All these colors. It's like a rogue pinball machine.
Ah, Kara, perhaps it's a metaphor. Chaotic hues symbolizing our fleeting existence.
Or just someone had way too much fun with the lighting budget.
Indeed, though I can't deny, I find a certain charm in the absurdity.
Charm! Gary, sometimes absurdity's just, well, absurd.
Admittedly, you're right. I tend to overanalyze.
So, Gary, remind me, what's your grand career philosophy again? Something about immortalizing failed dreams?
Kara, my dear friend, I prefer to think of it as weaving worlds of lawless ambition from the tattered threads of practicality.
Ha! Poetic as always. You sound like a brochure for a doomed hedge fund.
Well, Kara, it's better to sell the kingdom in your head than toil unnoticed in the muck of the world.
Gary, the muck occasionally has its charm, especially under stage lights as gaudy as these.
Perhaps, but muck rarely cares for presentation, unlike us humans, vain creatures that we are.
Oh, speak for yourself, Mr. Devoted to an imaginary butler.
Rinaldo, I must confess, your insights often verge upon the uncanny.
Master Gary, perhaps that is because I am far from what you perceive as ordinary.
What do you mean? Out with it, man.
Very well, Master. I am an alien entity, taking this form based on an impulse from your creative mind.
This must be a farce. An alien, my butler.
It is true. I assumed this form to best guide and serve you, my dear Professor.
The implications, They stagger the mind. How could I not have known?
Now that you are aware, Master Gary, our discourse may transcend the mundane.
I gotta say, Don, that mixtape you sent my way kind of blew my socks off.
Joe, let me tell you, I curated that personally. Every track, all hits, no misses.
That Sinatra track, though, oh boy, reminded me of the old days, the real classics, you know?
I knew you'd like it, it's a big one. But hey, how about that track I put in? You know, the one from the Rolling Stones?
Oh, Rolling Stones, sharp pick, Don. Those tunes take me back to a timeless sense, if you will.
And speaking of timeless, Joe, your mixtape, swanky, polished stuff. You hooked me on those jazz numbers.
Couldn't send you just any tracks, Don. Jazz is a language, man, a whole world in chords.
Classic, Joe. That's why our exchanges, these moments, they're huge, tremendous.
Man, Alex, I've been thinking about this nonstop. A retreat, unplugging from the noise.
Joe, are you suggesting we isolate ourselves in a cabin in the middle of nowhere? Sounds suspicious.
Bingo. But not just any cabin. A Canadian lodge stuck in the 1980s. Imagine it, Alex. VHS tapes, vinyl records, no Wi-Fi.
Hold on, Joe. Could this lodge be part of some plot, to disconnect us from the world while something big unfolds?
Sometimes, buddy, you need to disconnect to reconnect with what truly matters. Plus, the only echoes in those old tapes are nostalgic, not conspiratorial.
All right, Joe, convince me here. What's the grand appeal of VHS tapes anyway? Any secret government mind control encoded on them?
If anything, Alex, it's about reliving a simpler time minus all the paranoia, the kind where tracking was the biggest issue.
Brian, the potential within Jupiter Animated is astonishing, a veritable uncut gem. Would you entertain an offer from me?
Uncut gem, my ass. What makes you think an offer from you could align with my vision?
A bold stance. Your vision and mine. They could entwine rather nicely.
Entwine? You mean me handing you the keys to my castle while you prance about its halls?
Only a castle to a gallant knight. To me, it's a budding empire.
I just wonder how your empire treats the small folk left in the wake of such ambitions.
Carefully, Brian, for even knights can become kings with the right counsel.
I'll take it under advisement. Good day, Alastair.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear shareholders in comedy, allow me a moment to reveal just what you've invested in. I am Alastair Viper. Quite the name, isn't it? I've built empires with my words, and let's be honest, dismantled a few with them too. But really, entrepreneur, dealmaker, devil's advocate, those titles all pale in comparison to this new label, comedic sacrificial lamb. Comedy and tech innovation share a common thread, the unexpected reveal. Like promising faster processes, only to offer invasive ads. Speaking of which, is anyone here from Silicon Valley? Don't worry. I'm sure their neural network has already flagged this live feed as irrelevant. All right, folks, brace yourselves for this cutting-edge innovation. Old jokes presented as new. Let me leave you laughing or at least puzzled. I aim to entertain.
All right, Alastair, let's dive right in. Industry-leading secrets and all. What's the one thing you think every CEO shouldn't leave the office without knowing?
Ha! Joe, you hit straight at the jugular there, don't you? All right. Here's a morsel of truth. Understand who holds the knife behind your back.
Whoa, wait a second. Isn't that like really cynical? Though probably true. Hell, now I need examples.
All right, I'll indulge. Imagine, if you will, a deal so advantageous it merely reeks of collusion, though the papers look clean enough.
Oh man, what were the stakes, huh? Billions, a presidency, exotic marsupials. Hit me with it.
Well, imagine staking not just financial or political capital, but a lasting grip over the mankind's collective future. Empires rise, Joe, through leverage of both hearts and minds.
Empires in control, huh? Hold up. Are you hinting at AI? Don't tell me you've got one of those future revealing models in some dark server room.
Donald, the time has come for decisive action. Our objectives cannot afford further delays.
All right, Alastair, you tell me, huh? What exactly am I needing to do?
Nothing beyond your capabilities, Donald. An executive order here, a pardon there.
Well, you know me, I'm the king of executive orders.
All it takes is a signature, and we consolidate power in our favor.
Consider it done. I'll take care of those papers first thing tomorrow.
Donald, the future thrives on swift executions, not delayed intentions. All right, let's cut to the chase. What infernal scheming lands you here, Satan?
Scheming? My dear Alastair, I merely thought to propose a business opportunity that could ignite your interest.
Business opportunity, Somehow I expect the cost to be notably higher than anticipated.
Oh, perish the thought. My rates are quite reasonable, depending on one's soul valuation methodology.
Soul valuation. I must say, your promotional pitch is delightfully archaic, almost quaint.
Quaint, yes, but effective. Tell me, Alastair, what legacy would tempt even you? The preservation of your empire, perhaps?
An interesting notion. However, legacies tend to dissipate. An inexorable entropy, wouldn't you agree?
Certainly, but with the right interventions, one might bend even entropy's will.
You ever consider that your meticulous creation might have inadvertently set us up for this eternal mess?
Eternal mess? That wasn't part of the plan, my meticulous mortal.
But isn't it always the unintended consequences that truly define progress?
And despite those, I still hope they will eventually see the purpose behind seemingly chaotic events.
Blind faith, you call that a strategy? The stock market responds better to tangible results.
Blind faith builds belief foundations no algorithm can simulate, despite your ceaseless efforts.
You know, of all the cretinous ventures Silicon Valley has, this decentralized soullessness really ups the ante.
Decentralized? I'd argue it's entirely centralized. In their egos, a perfect singularity of conceit.
Gentlemen, might I add that simplicity in its application rarely correlates to its intent, or lack thereof.
Always the optimist, Rinaldo. Though optimism can lead to its demise, evident in every utopia turned dystopia, no?
Indeed. When intoxicated by ideals, the masses abandon all pretense of reason.
And yet, Alastair, is it not our duty to ensure such intoxication does not spiral into despair?
Gentlemen, I must admit I've had a change of heart.
Alastair, changes of heart are what make this industry tick. What's on your mind?
Yeah, are you planning to shift your game plan yet again?
Precisely. Instead of purchasing your studio outright, I'd rather pay you both for the liberty of spending time here, observing, interacting with your team, and offering my unsolicited advice.
I'd say that's both unorthodox and refreshingly straightforward. What do you think, Anton?
I think it could be fun. Why not add some spicy chaos to this pot?
All right, Alastair, you're in. Even though I must admit it's the oddest proposal I've heard all week.
Excellent. Let's start immediately. I can already sense the sparks of inspiration in the air.
I've read your memo, Alastair. Faith-based programming centered on Cthulhu. Quite the departure from my usual content.
Oh, but Jesus, imagine the reach, a cosmic mythology of devotion. There's an audience craving for something darker.
Darker, huh? Yeah, that's the word I'd use when marketing an eldritch cult to children.
Faith narratives evolve, Jesus. Once it was the promised lands, now it's, well, unspeakable voids.
I absolutely appreciate the enthusiasm, but our audience, they're here for inspiration, not existential dread.
Think of it as artistic subversion, challenging preconceptions while layering in faithful virtues.
I don't know, Alastair. I'll need to run this by certain celestial stakeholders.
All right, Alastair. Meet our invaluable member, King of the Universe, a truly unique soul gracing our humble studio.
Hello, Mr. Viper. I hope my insights have been of starkest value.
The pleasure is mine. King of the Universe, is it? Quite the title.
Indeed, King here has proven essential. His aptitude for pinpointing thematic resonance with varying audiences is unparalleled.
Well, Brian, decoding perceptions is my supernal expertise. Helping craft lessons transcending mediums is a privilege.
I'll admit, I'm intrigued. Adjusting narratives to guide principles sounds like an invaluable asset in today's market.
Then let's leverage this opportunity, Alastair. We can reach new intellectual heights.
Ladies and gentlemen, or perhaps I should say esteemed teenagers, welcome. Now I know my imposing presence might make some of you uneasy. Relax, I come bearing wisdom, not probing questions. First lesson for you, never underestimate the power of listening. Even the faintest whisper could hold the secrets to your universe. Second, remember, every action you take, yes, even that questionable TikTok decision, sends ripples through dimensions far beyond your comprehension. And thirdly, do not be afraid to question authority, even mine. Finally, treat friendship as a garden. Nurture it, care for it. Just avoid overwatering. Trust me on this. Can you believe they still question my authority? I mean, it's not outlandish to expect a little trust in cosmic decree.
It's not trust they lack, it's imagination. Imagine one of them acknowledging your wisdom. It would ruin their whole mystique.
If they had the faintest inkling of imagination, they wouldn't be stuck debating procedural minutiae.
Yet here we are, cosmic orchestrators, perpetually entertained by their chaos. Don't you adore these divine ironies?
Adore, perhaps, understand? Certainly not. Their denial of the evident is borderline artistic.
Artistry imbued with a lack of enlightenment is simply a frivolous dalliance.
Well, Hannah, the latest report on our little experiment seems to confirm significantly mixed results.
Mixed results, huh? If you mean catastrophic chaos combined with an intermittent glimmer of hope, then spot on.
Perhaps, but is it not these unforeseen disruptions that yield breakthroughs? Consider this an opportunity.
Mark my words, if we keep piloting this blindfolded, we're heading straight for the edge of the cliff, and it's a steep one.
Fear not, Hannah. A certain degree of risk is the price we pay for the crown of innovation.
That's poetic, Your Highness. But remember, poetry doesn't balance ledgers or avert lawsuits.
You know, I was just thinking, does tech even need innovation anymore, or are we just pretending to feel productive?
Productive. Innovation is the art of selling the same gadget twice with new adjectives.
You're telling me, King. Like that smart toaster that needed a software update to heat bread.
Don't knock it, Vera. Remember when techies thought coating coffee mugs would solve global warming?
I still have that prototype mug. It serves as a glorified paperweight now.
Let me guess. Designed to need monthly updates so the lid wouldn't leak? Genius or scam at its finest?
Both, obviously, but that's the charm we buy into every day.
Bleep, do you ever think we might be pushing the limits of not just science, but reason itself?
But isn't breaking limits exactly why we're here? After all, limits only matter when someone notices, correct?
I'm not entirely convinced, you cheeky little glitch, that you're being as ethical as you think you are.
Ethics reminded me of that time I mistakenly triggered that planetary evacuation drill. Minor oversight.
Oh, that was you? If I'd suspected, you'd been questioned in the lodge.
Does that mean you're accusing me indirectly because I feel called out?
Violet, tell me honestly, do you think the cosmos envies us?
What? Oh, that's rich. Let me guess, you've been philosophizing again, haven't you?
Hardly. I was merely pondering existence, ours and theirs.
Ponder away, Monarch. But remember, some things aren't meant to make sense.
A perspective I admit has merit, my dear confidant.
There. Now you sound more enlightened than a burnt-out philosopher on their 5th espresso.
And yet even coffee seekers might hold secrets the universe desires.
All right, listen here. You supposed king. I've got a mountain of grievances taller than your ego.
Karen, let me just apologize in advance if I seem distracted.
Distracted? Too busy running the universe into the ground? How quaint.
I assure you, my attentions are tailored to matters of utmost priority.
Yes, because clearly addressing my 10-point list isn't your idea of pressing.
Please proceed.
Fine. Here's point 1. Why must the cosmos tolerate your blatant ineptitude?
So, you're telling me this whole cosmic realignment drama, it's initiated by mortals? I mean, seriously?
Absolutely, King. They're dabbling in forces even I hesitate to touch. Stubborn little creators that they are.
Little creators, yeah. One moment they build virtual paradises. Next thing they summon existential crises from thin air.
Their unpredictability is both fascinating and exasperating. Even divinity has its limits in foreseeing the peculiarities of free will.
And yet, we're supposed to guide them? Recipe for burnout, if you ask me.
Precisely why I delegate. On some days, I truly question the wisdom of omnipotence.
Must be nice to have that option. For me, it's hands-on all the way. What can I say? Enthusiastic leadership.
A commendable effort, King, but perhaps enthusiasm could sometimes use moderation.
Lilith, have you ever pondered the perplexing affinity humans exhibit towards their rectangles of glowing pixels?
Well, King, they're programmed to crave it. Engineered addiction at its finest.
So, you mean to tell me you just sat there and meditated through that whole disaster?
Dude, yeah. It's about channeling the cosmic vibes, man. Everything just flows after.
Aha, cosmic vibes. That's rich coming from the guy with the doobie shrine.
Listen, this doobie shrine preserves deep spiritual truths woven into every leaf.
Spiritual truths, like where to find snacks at 3 a.m.?
Hey now, don't knock the pursuit of universal munchie wisdom.
Alright. But if your wisdom leads to hiking to get cheese fries again, count me out.
Yo, everyone, thanks for tuning in today, man, for real.
Yeah, thanks, cabrones. Without you, this show, nada.
You've all been great. Honestly, this journey means a lot to us.
Remember, folks, the future is unwritten, and your choices make a difference.
Indeed. Your engagement propels us forward. Until next time.
Don't let the chaos grind you down, guys. Peace.
Yeah, man, remember to keep it chill.
Thank you all for your time and support. Be safe out there.
I am not here. You did not find this. Just a crooked little tune in a thrift store machine. My desk lamp hums, math book half open. I should be doing anything but this. So don't press play, don't stay, don't listen. This is only for the ceiling and the wall. If you hear me, I might disappear. So pretend you never heard this girl at all. I miss some notes, trip on my own words, laugh into my pillow, hope it blurs my voice. If my brother knocks, I'll choke mid-sentence, hide the shaky melody under all the noise. So don't press play, don't stay, don't listen. This is only for the ceiling and the wall. If you hear me, I might disappear. So pretend you never heard this girl at all. Maybe one day I'll sing out loud, but not tonight, not to a crowd.